Is the new woman warrior an actual progression of feminism? In movies right now, we're having a lot of women appearing as the badass, vixen. And it is pretty exciting to see the athleticism of women, such as in Catwoman with, uh, um, oh gosh, that amazing actress, and Wonder Woman, right? The Wonder Woman comes in, and what's so beautiful about that character is that she is a warrioress from the heart. Everything that the Wonder Woman character does, that Gal Gadot embodies, is a feminine way of being a warrioress, is a craving we wish to see because it's like Mama Bear. Um, and when they made the mistake to put Gal Gadot in something called Red Hot something or other, where she's just a mean, cruel badass, it completely missed the beauty of the actress who comes in as the sacred warrior goddess of love, right? But now what's happening in the movies is there's this strange thing where we're really being misled. So and we're being toyed with in these ways that are very, very uncomfortable. Avatar comes in, this huge series, right? And the series is like, um, oh my God, this beautiful tribal society, and all us women flock to the movie because we want to see these beautiful people who live in nature, in the ancient ways, and can breathe underwater, and we're just like through the moon excited about it. But then when we get there, the movie creator has created half the movie to be full of that kind of beauty, well, maybe a third, and then the rest is all war, like brutal, brutal war. The guys who made the movie, they don't understand their audience, that is mainly women. And now us women, we're not going to go back to the movie. We're not going to tell our friends to see it, or our mothers, or anybody, because we don't want to put them through that hell. But you can see in the creators of Avatar, they thought, oh, we're being so fair to women. Look, we made them all look, all the blue people look athletic. Well, yeah, but you made them all look like men. They have no hips and almost no boobs. And that's your idea of respecting women, is to make them like men, like equal to men. But that's not the equality we're looking for. That's not what we need. If you feel like there's a craving you have on the planet for something feminine, you're right. Because women like me, like the big curvy women, we're being made to feel like we should hide away. And when the most respectful thing you can do in a movie is to make the woman, all muscle and no pudge. It's really it's disheartening, and it's not I mean, when you really look at the fashion industry, where it came from to have these skinny rail like women with no meat on their bodies that are children, it came from women in the industry and gay guys who both like men. Women like men, so gay guys, neither of them have an aesthetic of really juicy women, really. And that's because it's the fashion industry, right? So here you go. Now you look at, like, here's another really good example. The movie Everywhere, Everything All at Once just came out, and I did see it, and it's brilliant, right? And I laughed, and I laughed. But it's sort of a psycho snapshot of a woman's brain who's lived almost all of her past lives and present lives in the city. What the entire movie misses is the deep feminine. There's no soft mothering. There's no nature and the bliss of nature that just takes you into ecstatic union. There's no sexuality that's real sexuality. There's posturing, but there's no lovemaking. In the entire movie that's supposed to be about humankind and human suffering and the psycho spiritual journey of woman and mother and daughter, they left out lovemaking, nature, caring, loving mothering, and that's supposed to be a picture of wholeness, of humanity. Like, this is how blind the creators of movies are now, they don't even know, they don't even remember feminine. It's been so long since they were held and rocked and they were children with that mother who cared for them and laughed with them and encouraged them. I mean, this image of these cruel mothers everywhere and these, rebellious screaming kids. Okay, that happens in teenhood pretty often. But it's not what raised the child to get them all the way to the place where they can stand up for themselves and disagree with their mothers. What got them there was this incredibly loving, devotional sweetness between the parents and the mothers, especially. So, and nature, like when you go out and there's the wind blowing and the water flowing and the light on the leaves and the trees and the water, and there's this incredible quietness of scintillating aliveness that's whole, it's united, there's nothing missing. These kind of levels are the feminine within a heart of all of us. And he's like, Eve, are you calling everything good feminine and everything bad masculine? I guess what I'm doing is I'm calling the masculine part of ourself the one that's out of balance, the one that's taken over. And certainly we want to have an ego, we want to have linear thinking so that we can get things done and create in the world. But we are in a major time of extreme imbalance. And I want you to watch movies and notice, where is the feminine? Because a lot of movies are men dressed as women. Like you have the Woman King, right? Which is an extremely powerful feat. For all of these women to literally become warriors. They did all their own stunts. And that movie should have gotten extremely, a lot of awards, and it was passed by because it's all African American women. Why did they pass it by? Because the women are so powerfully masculine in their warriorship and their intense acting that took incredible emotional power to do that acting, right? So it's not that we want to dismiss the warriorhood coming forward from the women. It's extraordinary. It's beautiful to see a woman's power and her ferocity and the truth of that. But it's more and more and more energy poured towards war. And when you get women dressed up doing it, now it's supposed to be feminist, it's supposed to be okay. And it's not feminine at all. It's not okay to have this be what we're pouring our attention towards while our world is actually dying and brutally being abandoned. We need to get our whole focus towards the feminine. We actually, to balance the scale, we've got to pull ourselves away from our addiction to the masculine side of ourselves, the warrior, the fighter, one in the competition, the one who's winning, the one who's better than somebody else and more powerful, and I'm the superhero that saves the whole day. No, you're not. We all have to do it together or nothing will get done, So just be aware of the hypnosis going on when you go to movies and the lie that they're empowering the feminine when they're simply destroying her in a whole new way. Okay? To really tap into the feminine is a subtle thing because it's not always women. Like Steven Spielberg's movie he just did on his own life, how he became a director, is actually an extraordinary ode to his mother. It is very woman celebrating movie. It's about subtle things that are the meaning of life, and it's about this woman character who is so magical and is so passionate and is so free in the midst of all of the matrix. His mother frees him and empowers him all along the way, and the actress is completely convincing. I love this actress. It's called The Fabelmans, is the name of the movie. So it doesn't always come, the celebration of the feminine doesn't necessarily come in any kind of feminist package. You have 80 for Brady with all these women that are literally 80 years old: Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Rita Moreno, and Oh, that other adorable actress. They're all in the stupidest movie that they just put out called 80 for Brady. But it's worth to see it, just to see them in their glory, you know? What did these women, these are creative writers that have been writing their own shows for years. They've made this movie. Why do they think it's important? If you think it's really, really stupid, some of women's agenda might be stupid because it's about relationality, it's about comedy, it's about celebration of ridiculous small things, which makes life worthwhile. Here's a really good example of where it came down to me that ended a relationship that I adored, with my one of my producers for my music. He had this wall of videos behind his music studio. And when I was standing looking at them one time, I was aware that almost everyone was full of the kind of violent sex that is not truly pleasurable for women. Just where they throw her against the wall, bang, bang, rip off the clothes, huffing and puffing. No romance, no love, nothing soft, nothing sensual, nothing erotic, nothing magical, nothing creative, just that awful thing out of nowhere that is supposed to be what we want. And I mentioned it. He got really offended. And I said, look, I see one movie here that I'd like to see, and it was called Dance With Me. It was with Vanessa Williams, the ex Playboy centerfold star, and what's that incredible Latino singer, Chino, oh, I forgot his name. But anyway, I take home the movie and I watch it, and I love it because it's all dancing. It's all the men are beautiful to the women in this movie. All the women are basically kind to the men. There's some healing going around about father issues, but the woman is open to being celebrated. She's erotically turned on by her Latin lover, and she's not afraid to be feminine, and her children are taken care of, and there's family and food. And as a woman, to be able to watch a movie where nothing happens that's destructive to the feminine or her values, and none of the men are idiotic assholes, and the whole thing is, I can trust. Each thing keeps getting better and better. Don't you get it? Like us women, we have to endure watching men's movies and their ideas of what we want. Oh, you have to put in horror and trauma, they say, and violence, or no one will watch it. No, it's that the women endure it to see the romance, to see the comedy, to see the costumes, to hear the music. We endure it, but it means that the whole time we're watching movies, it's like we're like, oh no, okay, it happened again. The woman was belittled. The woman was treated like she was not a human being. All the women who were pudgy like me or older were treated insignificantly with absolutely no care. So we go through the miserable experience, maybe 70% of a movie, to see the part we love. But to get to see a movie where the woman, she's a woman getting a little older, and she's in her power, and she's totally allowing herself to be glamorous, and she's a great mother. It was so healing for me to just see one movie in my lifetime, as idiotic as that must be, that supports all of life, everything that really matters. Everything that really matters was good in this movie. And no, it wasn't a big cinematic masterpiece, but it healed my heart. So what is art for? We want to uplift each other. We want to heal our hearts. We want to make people happier than when they went in, right? That like Barnum Bailey, the circus guy, that's what he said. The whole point was to make people happier. So then you have my producer shouting at me saying, that's the worst movie ever. That movie's no art to it. It's, well, maybe not art. What is his definition of art? These Godfather movies with shooting and banging and black and white cinematography, and then big, ways that the camera is angled, so now it's supposed to be artsy. What the hell is that giving me? A bunch of spooky ghosts coming into these films. So, but it was like the end of our relationship because what he was saying to me is everything that you value, Eve, doesn't matter. And it's not art and it's not important. He had no interest in understanding why I would choose this little rom-com, this little chick flick made on a very low budget. I mean, it's not like, okay, we could say Roma is great art, great filmmaking, definitely. And it shows the perspective of a maid, of a woman inside the world of men. And it's a brilliant movie, the movie Roma. I do recommend it. But it's really sad. And if you sit through a whole movie where the woman is just being abused by everybody, you kind of come out with like, okay, I'm more depressed now and I don't have more hope or faith. But you watch Dance with Me with Vanessa Williams, and eventually all the characters overcome their struggles, and the men are so beautiful. We need to see the beautiful man. We long to see the beautiful man and his heart, who follows his heart, and the strong woman who feels and loves and is glamorous and is humble and hardworking. And it's not as boring as you think, guys. It's not as there's the whole idea, if you don't blow something up. What is so interesting about blowing stuff up? I don't really get it. If you don't kill a bunch of people, why is that? The story's over when you kill somebody. That's what first thing you learn in theater class. If you get on stage and you kill somebody, there's no more story. So the subtleties of like love and joy and bliss, this is the thing. We need to get really creative about how much joy, how much bliss, how much beauty can we create in this world and find the flow, right? Because that's the new creativity we're calling forth in a world where we're going to be working less and less as say thorium comes in, which is clean green nuclear energy that's almost free, and a bunch of other things like that. What are humans going to be looking for? Entertainment. And they're going to be looking for fun and pleasure. We need to have surfboards that fly through the sky. Yeah, we need to get creative about how to relate with each other. Okay, thank you for being with me this far. Almost nobody ever gets to the end of one of my long videos. You get a gold medal. Thank you, love.